Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Duel Screens and Dragons, the Duel Screens podcast and video show all about Dungeons and Dragons. How do you like it? I'm workshopping that new intro. I think it's really good. I'm one of your hosts, Stephen Montana of DuelScreens.com. With me, also of Duel Screens, maybe not for much longer. With that intro, he may just leave tonight. We have Taylar Allen playing Alakai. We have our Patreon producer, who gives us money for this shit.
Former Patreon producer.
FNHPaul, who's playing Oddball, another Patreon supporter. Actually, everyone here, I believe, is a Patreon supporter in some way. We have Mike Maltese playing Sergor. He will be joining us in a few minutes. We have Mikey Kirsch, one of the best buddies in the whole wide world, playing our monk, Ian Deere. And we have Mistahnuff, who you can follow right now on twitch.tv/Mistahnuff. That's Mista with an H, Mistahnuff, who just got affiliate, so congratulations to you, sir. He's playing our bard, who screams a lot. And, of course, our fearless game creation master, the master of the game, the dungeon of the master dungeoner, the dungeoneer. He is Arengard. Hi, Arengard. How are you?
I'm fantastic.
I think you are going to do the best introduction of this episode because you definitely did not have any practice doing this yet. So
no,
definitely not.
It's been a little while since I've had to do this introduction.
Really long. Anyway, we are going to kick it over to Arengard. He's going to introduce where the party has arrived at. And you could, of course, if you're just watching this as your first episode, don't do that. There are many episodes. Go back and watch those. This is episode 12, I believe. I think that's where we're at. I think we're at episode 12. So go watch last week. And if you want all of these sessions in one giant chunk, go to patreon.com/ndspodcast, and you can get those as they come out, as they're recorded. And when the public gets the first episode of that session, you guys get the whole session over there on Patreon. So go do that. Patreon.com/ndspodcast. Okay, Arengard, take it away.
So the last time on Duel Screens and Dragons, the party had been split up, and Raug was investigating the church on his own, having abandoned his party members in the street with a bunch of zombies around them, feasting on their bodies. And he entered the back of the church where he found Demetrius, the individual that he had met in the tavern previously, the day before. And while he was trying to distract Demetrius long enough for buying the party time to get there, Demetrius and him ended up battling, and Raug was felled by Demetrius. He managed to cling to life long enough for the rest of the party to get there, though Demetrius had disappeared by then. And the party was able to bring him back to consciousness, though they didn't have enough healing to get him much beyond that. The party went down into the undercroft of the church where they found a ritual was being performed or had been performed, and there was a glowing orb on top of a pedestal in the center of a lot of arcane script and surrounded by a force field of some sort. However, also in the undercroft was a lot of standing water from which came the creature that they had fought in the streets. It was a tense battle. Thyneon went down, Oddball went down. The party was severely injured and finally was forced to retreat back up the stairs and back to the tavern, which is where we are beginning. Sergor, having finished barricading the door of the tavern, turns to look between Alakai and Raug and pulls from his belt the slightly melted hammer that he had been using on the zombies that were covered in corrosive acid. He drops his hammer at their feet and then presses through them and heads up the stairs to his room.
Thyneon, filled with rage, looks over at Raug and says, "You, sit!" and points at the table full of chairs next to us and goes off to get some beers.
Raug shambles over to the couch in front of the dimly lit fire and crumples into the couch, into the crook of the corner nook of the couch.
How big is that couch? Just wondering.
Big enough that 2 people could sit on it comfortably, or 1 person could lay on it.
How much does Raug weigh? Just offhand?
Not a lot. I am... Where is it? 110 pounds.
110 pounds.
Yeah. Oddball is going to walk over to the couch and lift it from the ground, Raug included. And then move him and the couch over to the table. That I assume it was that big one that you gestured to, right? This big guy?
Yeah.
Cool. And then just dump him on the floor next to one of the chairs by that table. And then kind of put the couch in front of the door as a, like, as another barricade.
Okay. So Raug ends up over here, laying on the floor.
Plopped. Very
and the couch is now no longer where...
Raug reaches into his pocket, pulls out the queen chess piece and the broken pawn chess piece, and places it on the table directly in front of him. He is very hurt in so many ways, physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, just everything. He is just on the brink of ouch, and is just pensively staring into these 2 items on the table. Hands it to me. Okay. Raug takes it. I'm assuming he's handing it to me. with hands still out. look. This is a Jack Black, get that corn out of my face situation. Is there anything left in the mug? Okay. I'm holding this tankard of mead or ale or whatever it is. And look at the chess pieces. I refuse to look at Oddball. I look at Thyneon, and I just kind of... Raug just kind of shakes his head and just lets the weight of the mug take his arm down onto the table, and just kind of slam the mug down on the, like, not slam it, but, you know, like, gravity takes over and plops it on the, yeah, and just continues to stare at the pieces on the table. That is very not good. Okay. Okay. Keeping my eyes on him, I'm slowly walking over to the fire. Can I do some sort of dexterity for this to see if you could grab me? I'm shambling over. I walk right past Thyneon. I don't stop. I walk right up to the fire and I pour the beer in it. To kind of put the fire out. And so I do that. I don't. If it goes out, it doesn't matter. I mean, it kind of matters, but the gesture is that you could tell what. Yeah, and then collapse to my knees, just kind of staring at this smolder, with the tankard just kind of limp at my side. At Raug's side, just kind of, again, just total defeat. Not really fighting it. Not looking at. There's not anger. Like, you can't see anger on Raug. You just see disappointment. Sadness, pain, but you also see You see shame, but you definitely see in some way something that hopefully nobody has actually seen yet, because I don't think we've had a chance for this to happen. But you see for the first time what you could perceive as actual fear in this guy who has gone headfirst into many battles, has teleported, sliced dudes in the mouth, can't get himself. Like, you could tell that something seriously shook him. And it wasn't just death or like almost being killed. I know that Alakai is there. Like, I walked past him, so I know that whatever Alakai says, like, I'm paying attention to what's happening behind me. So. Okay. I sort of desperately and very quickly, almost like in the Producers when Bialystok takes the I forget the other guy's name, Bloom? Yeah, Bloom takes his blanket, his blue blanket, and then he finally gets it back and he's like with the blue blanket. Like, it's almost like that manic getting the queen piece back. Very like quick, fast, like holding it and like, but knows that somebody might be looking at him, so he kind of just freezes there with it in his hands. The pawn he's not really that worried about. It's really the queen that he clearly wanted to grab. Yeah, so he's kind of now crumpled in this corner here, with the queen in his hand, the pawn in two pieces at his feet, the tankard on the ground, the fire like basically almost out, and a loogie next to me as well. That's what I'm going to do for now, and I'm just kind of still stoically staring at. I'm holding the queen and I'm stoically staring at the pawn. I look over at Oddball and look over at Oddball. Oddball, can you provide me an audience for just a moment? I don't know much about your kind. I don't know where you come from, but you seem like a creature with very specific motives, desires, needs. A mission, as it were. Whatever you're seeking, would you let anything, and I mean anything, stand in your way of achieving that goal or finding that missing piece that you might be looking for? Okay. Raug stands up and goes over to this table here. The one not close to the bar, but like directly in front of the bar keep. Is still hurt, but like leaning on it. He has the chess piece in his right hand, and his left hand is on the table, kind of like upside down like this, like holding to the edge. And gripping it harder and harder, and eventually he flings the table up as hard as he can, just up against the wall, or just like tries to get it out of the way in that direction. Not trying to get out of the way, but like basically throwing a fit into the wall. Hope to get everybody's attention, but in an outburst, just lets out a what could only be described as a pain-filled battle cry. With the tables and the chair, well, the table and the chairs kind of just falling all over the place. Assuming people are looking at me, I say, I've never wanted friends. I've never needed friends. I've never needed allies. I've never needed war. I've never needed weapons. I was a child, a kid, just learning, going to school. And I take out the queen piece. This was my sister. She was my friend. She was who I knew. She was my life. My twin. She is being held, and this is what holds her. And that man is working for him, the one that took her from me. Alakai, with all due respect, we were not friends. We had a common enemy. It was a mutually beneficial relationship, and just when I thought that I was making friends, I realized that my goal, my mission, my sister, and this demon that I've been chasing means more to me than any friend ever will. And I slowly walk my way toward the bar, and I plop a couple of gold pieces on it, and I'm attempting to make my way up to the room that I have. Yes, I think so. This is a short one, folks, so stick around for next week, because now things are going to really start to get interesting. You got a lot of exposition, a lot of story, you got some character development here, and I hope you enjoyed it. This has been Duel Screens and Dragons, episode 12. Definitely the first time we tried to record this one, so don't worry about that. I'm Steve of DuelScreens.com. Thank you so much. Hit the thumbs up on the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much, and as always, please be excellent.